Hi guys, welcome to today's mini lesson session. I am Alicia and this is Ivy and Jasper. Today we will talk about audio description and now I will simply introduce what we're going to talk about today.
And the content will be a general explanation of audio description, audio describer, and initial ideas based on whatever we presented today. And now I'll move on to Jasper. He will explain what is audio description.
首先，我给大家解释一下什么是音频描述。音频描述用于把视觉元素转化成口头或者文字的叙述，让视觉障碍者能够克服视觉障碍。简单来说，就是把我们看到的东西用口头表达出来。音频描述就像一个叙述者在讲述一个故事，他通过声音来描绘身体语言、表情和动作，使得故事更加生动清楚。音频描述在近几年的发展十分迅速，它的应用范围很广，操作性也很强。音频描述被应用于许多传媒平台，比如电视、电影院、DVD 以及在线视频播放网站，像 Netflix、BBC 之外呢，还有戏剧表演、教科书插图的文字解说等等。对于任何视觉性的传播媒介，音频描述都有它的一席之地。它的操作流程分为两种，第一种是提前录制，然后将音频描述的音轨混合到原始录像中，然后将这种含有这种混合音轨的录像进行播放，比如电影、电视节目等等。也可以是在现场直接由叙述者进行口头叙述，像戏剧表演。在这张图里面，我们可以看到这位叙述者在现场对一个戏剧表演进行口头叙述，他的正前方是调音和混音的设备，在这些设备之前呢是一个小窗口，这个叙述者通过这个小窗口可以看到整一个舞台以及演员们的表演、动作、神态等等，来进行更好的、更详尽的口头叙述。各种传媒平台都有他们各自不同的传播音频描述的方式。数字电视的传播方式分为两种，第一种是 broadcast mix， 电台在播放电视节目前会把音频描述的音轨提前混合到原始录像中，然后播放这种含有混合音轨的录像。观众只需要通过遥控器切换播放模式，就能够收听该电视节目的音频描述。另外一种数字电视的音频描述播放形式与上一种类似，被称作 receiver mix。不过相比之下呢，这种优势更加明显。它通过这种技术呢，电视可以在同一时间分开播放正常的电视节目以及它的音频描述，并且音频描述是由耳机进行传播的。这样一来，除了佩戴耳机的人可以听到音频描述，其余的人都可以正常观看电视节目。第二个主要传播方式是网络设备，比如网络电视、在线视频、IPTV 之类，都能够通过视频播放器、移动设备，像手机、笔记本来提供音频描述。另外呢，还有一些网络平台，像 Netflix、BBC、iTV Hub、Demand5 和 Sky 等，都会提供相应的软件或者开发专用的设备来实现音频描述。第三个主要传播方式是电影院和 DVD， 像现在的数字影院和蓝光 DVD 都会配有音频描述这项功能。影院会安装特殊的设备来确保音频描述与电影音轨同步播放。有视觉障碍的观众只需戴上耳机就能够收听音频描述。接下来我举一个霍比特人的例子 The Hobbit， 这是霍比特人电影的最后一个场景，并且含有它的音频叙述。
Gandalf runs straight to Thorin, who
OK， 我们可以看
unconsciously
到
lies on the ground.
电影中人物的神态、动作以及场景的布置这些细节都能够被很详尽的描述出来，就像是在听一则故事一样，十分生动。
Muttering a magic spell. The Dwarf King opens his eyes.
It's all right. Bilbo is here. It's quite safe.
Bilbo Baggins feels relieved. The other dwarves help their king who is standing up. Everyone looks at the hobbit. Thorin begins to speak.
You.
Bilbo looks afraid.
What were you doing? You nearly got yourself killed.
Thorin comes closer to Bilbo.
Did I not say that you would be a burden? You would not survive in the wild. And you had no place amongst us. I have never been so wrong.
The Dwarf King hugs Bilbo. The others start cheering. Thorin takes a step back and faces Bilbo.
I'm sorry.
随着音频描述这项新技术的出现，最大的受益者是那些有视觉障碍的人，他们能够像常人一样感受和接收媒体讯息，欣赏视频动作和艺术美感。此外呢，在给这些视障者提供相应的服务的同时，更多新的产品、新的市场可以得到激励和启发。最后呢，音频描述也能作为一种很好的学习语言的设备、语言的工具，将音频描述应用于各种不同的视频资料里面，就可以适用于各种年龄阶段，不管是小孩、成年人或者老人，都可以学习更好的来学习语言。接下来由艾比进行进一步的阐述。
Audio description shows a balance between the use of technology and human assistance. With human assistance, audio describers are the people who orally describe the scene to the listeners. They will always use special software that displays the film script, actual film images, and time code. This allows them to write their own narration according to precise timings or in gaps between the dialogue, music, and sound effects. And with the use of technology, there are a lot of narration services provided at museums and theaters where there will be narratives in the headphone guiding you through the tour. Technology is always used to transmit the audio description to viewers, but the actual description is still produced by a person. So in this sense, human input is always required to determine what details are relevant.
Now I'll talk about some difficulties that audio describers may encounter. Firstly is the time limit. Because there is always strict time limitation, so that it requires describers to be clear and succinct in terms of their language in order to create an adequate audio description within the time limit. However, this can be really challenging due to the fact that any scene can contain an infinite amount of visual information. Because the setting can function as a marker in the development of the story, understanding the whole environment is also central to understanding the presented scene. This is also called the spatiality audio description. So it should be considered beyond a mere description of the parts. Instead, describers should aim to provide coherent and visual narrative and take the enjoyment of listeners into account. And then another difficulty is the possibility of different understanding. As we all know, after seeing a movie, people tend to understand or ultimately judge the film differently. Because affected by our age, cultural backgrounds, or experience, etc., people tend to approach the movie in their own way. So with audio description, this process of interpretation is even more complicated, because listeners can only understand the scene through describers' description. In this sense, audio describers can potentially participate in the construction of meaning, because the meaning of a film are produced by viewers in their interactions with it. Thus, it's really important for audio describers to strike a balance between objectively describing the scene and producing the meaning of the film. So, having talked about the difficulties that audio describers may encounter,
Now I'll introduce some techniques that audio describers can use in order to convey a better audio description. Firstly, with observation, effective describers must increase their level of awareness and become active seers. In order to do that, they should be able to perceive the scene with a heightened sense of acuity, and also to learn to receive the world around us, in order to truly notice what is perceived with the eyes, and thus focus on the need of people with visual disability. And then in terms of editing, audio describers should be selecting what is the most valid, what is most important, and what is the most critical to an understanding and appreciation of a visual image. Since describing everything is impossible, in order to deliver effective description, describers need to consider how relevant and appropriate the information is in terms of their understanding of the presentation. For instance, if you're given the picture of a classroom and you had only 5 words to use, what would you focus on in the description of the image? So by simply looking at this picture on the slides, we can't actually prioritize these elements since it has no connection to other scenes. But in considering a scene from a film, image is also framed to direct the viewer towards certain elements. So what is more important depends on the specific situation in the film. That's why we need to consider the visual links between consecutive scenes and also the development of the story in order to deliver adequate description. Thirdly, in terms of language, images must be transferred into words in audio description, including objective, vivid, specific phrases and metaphors. Although a describer must use language that helps people see vividly and even see beyond what is readily apparent, it is also important to remain natural and objective because listeners must be given the opportunity to construct the meaning on their own. That's why the first rule of description is what you see is what you describe. One sees physical appearance and actions, and one does not see motivations or intentions. Therefore, never describe what you think you see. For example, expressions like she's upset should be definitely avoided, and instead, we should say she's crying. Also, as in this picture, the idea is to not bring your subjective interpretation into the description and let the blind audience make their own judgments. So instead of saying he's angry, we should describe he clenches his fist. In addition, we should only use those adjectives and adverbs that do not offer value judgments. For example, beautiful says only that something is not ugly, but what exactly makes it beautiful. Instead of saying the person, clothing, object, etc. is beautiful, we should describe the things observed that caused your conclusion, so that listeners can make their own judgments based on your description. For example, as in this picture shows, instead of saying the girl in the picture is beautiful straight away, we can instead describe her hairstyle, skin color, etc. to present a basic image of the girl.
Thanks, Ivy, for audio describer. Now I will simply just conclude whatever we just discussed. So far, we have discussed the difficulties of audio describing and some examples of audio descriptions and approaches that can be used by audio describer to assist people with visual disabilities. And other than audio describer, a lot of audio description devices services are now providing in many more places to make their life easier. So now what I will do is I will present some of my initial idea based on whatever we just discussed, and also I will show you guys some videos about how people with visual disabilities actually living like. So here's a short video about what happened to people with visual disabilities when watching a movie. And this is sort of a traditional audio description types. Let's have a look.
First, a woman with short, bright red hair wearing sunglasses, her lips painted glossy red. Her image changes to a man. His soft-featured face has kind eyes and a subtle smile. His hands are held pressed together under his chin. Next, an elderly lady with snowy grey hair and watery blue eyes. Her pale skin is etched with deep lines. This becomes a young black man, his eyes searching, his thick dark eyebrows and beard tinged with electric blue. Next, a man and child, the man with long wavy hair. His head is lifted, his eyes questioning. The child with him looks on, innocent and serene. Next, a mother looks smilingly on at her daughter. And finally, a woman gazes directly at us as she feeds a baby from a spoon held in her mouth. Abruptly, we transition to dynamic black and white images of protest. A number of the photographs are washed pop art style with bright colour. Defiant faces carry banners through the streets. Fists punch the air. There are wheelchair symbols, slogans that read, inclusive transport, end apartheid for disabled people, equal rights for all, young disabled people demand access. These images flicker quickly past, the screen juddering to the energetic beat of the soundtrack.
So guys, after a short video about how the audio describers, how the people with visual disabilities actually got help with the audio description, what do you think about it? Do you think it's really useful, or do you think there's any point that needs to be improved? Please don't feel hesitated to contact us or send us any emails if you have any suggestions or any opinion to say.
You literally see nothing. It's dark, and you have to imagine through whatever the audio describer tells you. And that's the only way you can feel it. So that also again shows the difficulties of audio describer, because they will have to show the people with visual disabilities the exact scene they see from the image. And now I have another idea from Disney, and I think this is pretty cool. We can have a look, and after that I will present my own idea.
Yes, I can. This is Disney's handheld device, and this is a device that we use to provide services for our guests with disabilities here at the parks. And the service that we are experiencing today is our new audio description service. And the audio description service is for someone with a visual disability.
Pixar Place, near restrooms.
What we found is our guests don't necessarily like to be bombarded with a lot of information all at once. So we wanted to give them the control to choose what they want to listen to when they want to listen to it. So if a guest is walking around, it may give them a little location update that says, oh, you're in Pixar Place, near Toy Story Mania. And then the guest has the option to drill down in some audio-based menus to listen to the information in Pixar Place.
Pixar Place audio menu. Choose 1 of 7. 1. Detailed description.
A wide avenue leads visitors through Pixar Place, a small campus of brick buildings decorated with giant classic toys. Colorful toy monkeys with linked arms form chains overhead. Below, a huge blue barrel labeled Barrel of Monkeys has an open lid. Life-size toy soldiers place letter tiles on a room-sized Scrabble board suspended from a rooftop. The tiles spell out, "Meet the Toys," and "You've got a friend in me." On one side of the avenue, alphabet blocks and Scrabble tiles spell out the main attraction's name over a doorway. Toy Story Midway Mania.
I'm here with Larry.
So from this video we can see that it's actually using colloquial languages, and it's really easy to get access with it. And I know some of you feel this is really sort of unusual to see, but actually this is what happens nowadays. And so my idea based on these kind of videos and whatever devices I've seen and whatever researches I've done, I want to have a device that contains GPS in it, and it could help out people with visual disability, speech disability, and to be able to see or say whatever they want to say or see. And also I want to have with all different kinds of languages and all different kinds of situations, so it can be sort of like a robot thing as well. And so this is my idea. Let's have a look.
请选择提示语言的种类. Please select your language.
普通话，
已选择普通话，请说明现在的场景。
回家，
当前情景语言环境为普通话口语。现在你的面前有3格楼梯，要用左手边的扶手作为辅助。走上楼梯后，向左拐， 且用盲人道作为辅助，然后使用你的房卡进入大楼。刷完房卡以后，你将需要向前行走19步，然后用你的右手按电梯上楼。电梯到达目的地之后，您需要向前走3步，然后向左拐，再往前走7步，就可以到达家门口。开门之后，请告诉我你想要去家里的哪个位置？客厅的沙发、餐桌，或是厨房、洗手间、卧室。
沙发。
进到家门后，你需要在你的右手方斜方向向前行走7步，然后就可到达沙发的位置。放心享受吧。
So that's basically my idea. I know there's a lot of points that I need to be fixed, and I know that's not perfect for sure, but what do you guys think? Please tell me your opinion. Thank you.
For future development, there are some disadvantages and advantages I found. So for disadvantages, it actually took too much time when going through the processes. So for example, like I asked, what kind of situation it is, are you feeling, how are you feeling, and etc. And also there are too many options that's not too humanized. So I hope in the future development we can actually make it with the GPS, with all those new technologies, we can develop one that doesn't have to ask them, and we can define the situation by the technique itself. And also, in terms of advantages, it actually provides easy understanding languages. So, if you say, keep going 100 meter and turn left, you don't know how far is the 100 meter is. So if I say go 10 steps ahead and turn left, then you know what's happening. And also it has various options to choose. That's also disadvantages but advantages as well. So without those kind of options, you might get confused when when they don't ask you. You might feel, what should I do in this case? So after all that, how can it change their life? In terms of education, they will be able to get access to the mainstream classes because they are smart only because they have visual disabilities or speech disabilities that actually create the barrier for them to get into the mainstream classes and study whatever other people are studying. But however, if you have this kind of devices, they can learn and they can understand, they can see, they can say all those contents from mainstream classes. Also, in terms of easy living, as I said, like if you go into conversation, like convenience store, you just easily say whatever you want, and you don't have to worry about, because I have disabilities, I have difficulty to buy things. No, that's not. Also, with employment, that's kind of similar. With education, you got more opportunities to get into a bigger company and live like normal people. And for future living, there's a lot of parents, they have speech disabilities, so they have to send their children to a certain school to learn how to speak or to learn how to listen to others. But in this case, because they know they have this technique, so they can actually help the children at home and they don't have to worry about themselves anymore.
And that's all we got today. Thank you for listening and see you next time. Bye.